Hey everyone, today I wanted to take a look at a new tuner from D'Addario for instruments like acoustic guitars and ukuleles. It's the NS Micro Soundhole tuner. Let's check it out. So if you play a stringed instrument, you're probably already familiar with the headstock tuners. These tuners clip onto the headstock and allow you to tune the instrument, and in general, they work really well. One drawback, though, is especially if you're on a crowded stage, they can get knocked off very easily. And if you play a really small instrument like a ukulele, they start to look out of place since the headstock tuner starts to get almost as big as your instrument. So the benefit of the new D'Addario tuner is that it fits inside your instrument's sound hole and it will be unobtrusive and won't look out of place. The box. So before we take a look at the tuner, I just wanted to show you the box that the tuner comes in. Again, this is the D'Addario NS Micro Soundhole tuner. And you can see a picture of the tuner inside the instrument. And it's touted for a multicolor display, non-marring sound hole clip, fast, accurate response. And note this, the calibration range on the box says it can be calibrated from 435 to 455 hertz. However, that is a mislabeling. The calibration range of the tuner is actually from 435 to 445 hertz. And you can see here an example on the back of the box. When the note is out of tune, it will display in red. When it's almost in tune, it will display in yellow. And when it's perfectly in tune, the note will display in green. And the tuner also has an automatic time off, so it automatically powers off in 10 minutes to save on battery life. The tuner. And this is the tuner. It's very, very small. So you can see how small it is right there. And it has a power button and a button over here where you can change the calibration. And you can see in the middle a display screen. Now, it's just flashing lights right now because we're not actually attached to the instrument, but I'll show you that in just a moment. So this is the front of the tuner. This is the back of the tuner. And you can see how the tuner clamps on into your instrument sound hole. It has a nice little kind of a foam padding on one side of this clip. And then on the bottom, it has a little kind of a metal spring that keeps it firmly attached to your instrument. And the tuner gets its power from a battery, which is included, and it's easily removable by just pressing on the little metal spring there, and you can easily take the battery out. I do want to point out, though, that that's one drawback of this tuner. Perhaps they designed it this way to save on weight and to keep the tuner small so it doesn't affect the acoustics of the instrument, but there is no battery cover. So as long as you are careful not to press this little spring, the battery will stay in place. But, because there's no battery cover, this really isn't a tuner that you would want to just put in your pocket because you could have the battery easily come out. In fact, when I took the tuner out of the box, the battery popped out in process. Okay, to insert the tuner into your instrument, you simply just thread it through the strings. Now I'm going to try to do this one-handed because I'm holding the instrument with one hand and I'm holding the tuner with the other hand, and we'll see if we can get that into the instrument. But just simply slides onto the instrument right there in the sound hole, and you can see the tuner is on. And you can kind of see the display right there, if you can kind of peek through the strings. So if I pluck a string, you can see that the note of that string. So there's a G, there's a C, there's an E, and there's an A. Okay, so now I'm just going to tune down the string. So let's see what happens if we're not in tune. And now you can see we're way flat there. So now we can start to tune it up. You can see the display is in red, and there are bars on one side of the note indicating on which side we have it tuned. As we get closer and closer, there, now we're back in tune. And once you have everything in tune, you can either wait the 10 minutes and it will automatically power off, or you just reach down in through the strings there into the sound hole and the tuner will shut down after pressing the power button. And here's a look at the instrument with the tuner in place. You can see it's very unobtrusive. It does not look unprofessional having a big tuner hanging off your headstock. In conclusion, so really that's all there is to it. You saw how easy it is to attach the tuner into your instrument sound hole. I did it with one hand. You'll probably want to use two hands. It does feel like you're going to drop that tuner down into your instrument, but if you're reasonably careful, it's very easy to attach. Now, I do want to point out one thing. The company says that this is a non-marring clip. In other words, it's not supposed to damage the finish of your instrument. That said, I probably would not leave this tuner attached to my instrument for long periods of time. There is a kind of a foam padding on one side of the clip, and the other side of the clip has like a little metal spring that holds the tuner into place. It's probably fine for temporary uses while you're actually playing your instrument, but once you're done playing, I would probably remove the tuner. Now that leads to the other kind of drawback of this tuner, in that the tuner does not have a battery cover. So once you do remove the tuner, you need to kind of put it into a safe place so that that battery won't get knocked off of or out of the tuner, because all it takes is one little touch on that clip holding the battery in place and the battery springs out. But other than those cautions, the tuner is very easy to use. It works really well. It's very responsive. It's easy to see the notes as you're tuning them. It has a multicolor display. It tells you whether you're sharp or flat. And once you're dead on, it's very easy to use from that respect. And best of all, you don't have this big honking tuner clamped onto your headstock. It's very unobtrusive, won't get knocked off, and it looks professional. So that's it for a look at the D'Addario NS Micro Sound Hole Tuner. I hope you found this review helpful. Thanks a lot, and I look forward to seeing you next time.
This video is for everyone who's having trouble getting a tight fit in their sound hole because the clip's not tight enough and it's loose. Small Phillips screwdriver, your clip, remove that. Don't lose that little screw, of course. Pop this out. I use these little pliers. I hold on to this one with these fat pliers. They're like the micro pliers, I guess. I'm not sure exactly what they call them. Then I take the other set of pliers and grab it from the side, close in to where your other pliers are. Squeeze with your other pliers really tight, and then just bend up a little bit to make that clip tighter when you reinstall it. It'll be tighter close to the plastic. I like to do quite a bit because I like mine nice and tight. I'm not worried about the finish on my guitars. Even though I have nice guitars, I'd rather have the tuner stay put and work well. Now getting it back in, you have to put the front part in, and it's going to be a little bit spring loaded now because of the bending you did, but you're going to have to get this back down into there. And it's actually easy to do, but you do have to kind of stick it under first, and then you've got to work this back in, and it will get into where it will stay. And then you put your screw back in and you're done. That's it. nice and snug. It's hard to over tighten with these tiny little screwdrivers anyhow. I want it nice and tight. I want this thing to be snug everywhere so that I get good feedback. Now see how snug it is? See how snug my clip is up there against the plastic? Now when I clip it onto my guitar, it will be nice and snug, give me good feedback. These tuners are great, they work great. That's why I wanted to show everybody how to do this, because a lot of people were having trouble with them being sloppy. Hope this helps.
When I heard that D'Addario had come out with a Soundhole tuner, I was very interested in trying it, and immediately upon using it I fell in love. The biggest question I had about it was whether it would interfere with my style of playing, and I discovered that no, it doesn't. It doesn't get in the way when I strum, or when I fingerpick, or even when I chunk. It just doesn't get in the way. If you don't have a tuner built into your ukulele or guitar, this is the next best thing. I am totally sold on this.